Hello, I'm Brian Adams, and this is the operation of Oliver. Let's take a look. Next, you're going to take a piece of regular paper and trace the bottom around. Once you do that, then what you're going to do is take a piece of carbon paper and you're going to trace the outside and get what it looks like, and then you're going to mark that with a pencil so you can cut it. You're then going to take this that has been marked on the outside and line it up with this piece of paper that's going to be cut to be put inside of it. Make sure you take a toothpick, put a hole between the two pieces of paper, and be able to put them in the center so that way you can see that they will fit on the arm and run accordingly when spun. After you have the toothpick put in the center, you're sure that it will spin well with this one here. Take this piece of paper, line it up with the pattern that you have, that you've drawn how it is on this part here is. The reason you're drawing this is because what I did was I cut the inside of this out as round as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be 1/4 of an inch deep so that we can put this piece of paper that we're cutting down into here, but we're going to fiberglass it. You take this piece of paper, line it up with this pattern, then go ahead and tape it on. Go ahead and turn it and cut the paper just as you see it, so that that will fit down inside here. Okay, so here's what the pieces look real rough. I cut them out. See how they sink in about 1/4 of an inch. Got a little hole there. The hole is just a guideline to get an idea. Just kind of measure it from side to side and up and down to get a center. Later, because we're going to put a screw on it, we'll put a tape on it to remind us that that face is out and that goes in that general location. We're going to put fiberglass on the opposite side of this piece of paper to give strength to it. That's where we're going to start. Okay, so basically how this works is, this is what it's going to look like. I'm going to put this wall in. I'm going to build it up with fiberglass. This screw here is just giving me an idea on the depth. What's going to actually be happening is, you can see how hollow it's down in there. I've hollowed out the arm, and you see there's a screw on the back of this wall that I've actually fiberglassed on. I'm going to put epoxy around that. I'm sorry, not a screw. I fiberglassed the nut onto the back of this wall. I'm going to put epoxy around that, build that back of the wall up probably about 1/8 of an inch, and then when this sets down into here, I'm going to fill this up with fiberglass resin or epoxy to fit on flush on the top part here, and then I'm going to put epoxy on the back to hold this in place inside there. And there's two reasons. One, I could do it this way, so what happens is the end result is that screw will screw into the nut, so it will screw the arm there, so the arm will be able to move back and forth. The only other alternative is to drill a hole here through the side, be able to put a wrench in there, and probably drill a hole on the other side, and be able to tighten the screw and then close it all up once I'm done to make it permanent. But I think it would be better to just go ahead and screw the arm in to the upper part of the arm. Alright, I'm moving along so fast, I just wanted to show you this before I move any further. This is the arm. This is what it should turn like. See how it may go over a little bit to side. That's what you're going to want. Now, having said that, this is what it looks like on the inside. We're just with just a test. Remember we showed you cut here? Now this is the piece that's going to fit into here. And it's going to have the screw, a washer on the back. We're going to put a little space at the bottom of this to let the screw go only so far, but not too far. So we always have contact with the screws coming out. And also something to stabilize it so it doesn't shift on us when we want to bolt it in. But we want the screw to have a little bit of a play. Now this is the other part I wanted to show you. Now this is the other piece that I had put in. Looks just like the other piece. Looks just like this, only it has, the nut has been fiberglass and epoxied onto the back of this piece. You'll notice I put it together in 4 locations. The reason for that was I wanted to make sure that I had it, although I had measured it, I wanted to make sure that it was perfectly level so that when I put this piece on, it would match up and have no problems with the screw. So this is a precaution. You do this first, because see, you can always cut this away and make adjustments. Well, if you epoxy the whole thing, then you wouldn't be able to make any adjustments at all. So that's why this is done like that. Now that I know this is right, I go ahead and epoxy that, and I'm going to leave a little space for this for the screw hole. I even might want to put a little piece that I've made up, which is a straw. Put it right there in the center, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or just put epoxy on it. That just may be overkill. No one's really going to see that. It doesn't have to be that perfect. And here are the individual pieces. This is the one with the nut. I have the epoxy on the inside, and here's the one with the screw. I had the epoxy on the inside. I'll put those two together. And you can see this part screws in like this. And now you can see the pieces are put together. Here's the arm, all assembled here. And this part moves back and forth. If you like what you saw today, don't forget to leave comments and subscribe. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook.